welcome back. So in this video, we are going to discuss June 2022 M1 Mechanics 1 question number 1. So this is a momentum question. So we have two particles P and Q moving towards each other in opposite direction. So let's draw here a particle P and a particle Q. And now they both are moving in the opposite direction. So let's say that P is moving towards right, then Q will be moving towards left. Now, along the same straight line, when they collide directly, so collision is happening immediately before the collision, that is initial velocity. Immediately before the collision, the speed of Q is 2u. That is initial velocity u is given as 2u. The mass of Q is given as 3m. So the mass is given as 3m here for particle Q. And the magnitude of the impulse exerted by P on Q. So by P on particle Q, the impulse, so the impulse will be in this direction where it is acting towards right. It's given that impulse is 4m u. Now find the velocity of find the speed of Q immediately after the collision. So after the collision, we know final velocity is what we need to find out. Let's take it as v. And since it is velocity, we need to assume a direction. So I'm going to assume after the collision, the particle Q is moving towards left. When I solve this out, and if I'm getting an answer as a negative answer, that means the direction that I have assumed here is wrong. So let's solve this. So the question is, we have particle P and Q. They both are moving in the opposite direction. So nothing is about P. Particle P is given here. Only particle Q, the mass is given as 3m. The impulse exerted by P on Q, that means the direction of impulse will be towards right, is given as 4mu. And initial velocity is given as 2u. We need to find out the final velocity. Final velocity, I'm assuming that it is going to move in the same direction after collision. If I am getting a negative answer, that means the direction that I have assumed here is wrong. So it's simple. We just need to know the formula for impulse here. Impulse is equals to m into v minus u. I is equals to m into v minus u. These are all vector quantities. So the direction we have to consider. We know that the impulse is moving towards right, and the initial velocity and final velocity is moving towards left. So I'm going to consider that moving towards left, I'm going to consider it as positive, and moving towards right, I'm going to consider as negative. So left, I'm going to consider it as positive, and movement towards right, I will consider it as negative. So impulse, we know impulse here is acting towards right, and the velocity, sorry, the impulse value, the magnitude is given as 4mu. So my impulse is going to be minus 4mu because it is moving towards right, or the impulse is acting towards right. Impulse is acting towards right, and we know that the right, we took the direction as negative. So impulse I is equals to minus 4mu, and mass of the particle Q is given as 3m into v is the final velocity, which we need to find out, minus initial velocity is given as 2u. When I work this out, and if I am getting the value for v as a negative answer, that means the direction I have considered is opposite. Now let's solve this. Minus 4mu is equals to 3mv minus 3 into 2 is 6, 6mu. We can cancel out m from all of these. Now what we have here is minus 4u is equals to 3v minus 6u. Minus 6u goes to the other side, it becomes positive 6u. So 6u minus 4u is equals to 3v. We know that 6u minus 4u will be 2u. So 2u is equals to 3v. We are finding out what v is. So v is equals to 2 by 3u. So when I find the answer for v, I got a positive answer. I got a positive answer. That means the direction that I have assumed here is correct. If I was getting a negative answer here for V, final velocity, then that means the direction that I have assumed in the beginning is wrong. So A part is done. The speed of Q immediately after the collision is 2 by 3 U. Now, the direction of motion of Q immediately after the collision. So you can see here, initially it was moving, the particle Q was moving towards left, and after the collision also it is moving towards left, because the direction, I understood that when I got the answer as a positive answer for V, that means that the direction that I have assumed in the beginning is correct. So for the B part, you can just simply write the direction is not changed. The direction is not changed, or it moves in the same direction. You can just say that it moves in the same direction after collision. So this was question number 1. It carries 4 marks. So if you have any doubt, please let me know through the comment box. Thank you for watching.